Does it make sense to add a term rider to a whole life insurance policy if your goal is to maximize the cash value? Or does it make sense to go with a policy with a minimum base premium, but no term rider? Meaning I want to set the base as low as I possibly can without adding a term rider at all. This is a question that's often heavily debated among people in the industry, agents, where the consumer is left with saying, I just want to know what option to go with. Like, which one's going to give me the most cash value at the end of the day? So today, we are going to analyze two policies with the same company on the same individual, same out-of-pocket for a long period of time, one with a term rider and one without a term rider. Both policies are designed for maximum cash value. Now, very quickly, if you have not seen any of our content in the past, a term rider, the purpose of adding that to a whole life insurance policy that's set up for maximum cash value is that it adds more death benefit to the life insurance policy, and the death benefit has a direct relationship to the MEC limit. The MEC limit is that taxable line on a policy. So what we're going to look at specifically is one of my favorite types of term insurance riders, which is a one-year term rider. So a one-year term rider, what this is a one-year renewable term insurance rider. What that means is every year you grow older, the actual cost for the term insurance increases. It's annual renewable term. However, there's a catch to it, and it's a good catch. As you continue to pump money into the policy, you'll notice that the actual dollar amount for the term insurance decreases over time, often resulting in a net decrease in cost. We're going to look at the exact dollar amount in this video. We're going to have some fun. But what we're going to look at here is a policy with a 10/90 split, meaning of the total payment going into the policy, 10% will be directed toward the base premium. A very small dollar amount will be added toward the term insurance rider on an annual basis, and then everything else will be added toward PUAs, maximizing the cash value. That's the name of the game. Then we're going to look at a policy with a 37/67 split and no term rider. Now that's kind of an oddball number. Where I came up with that number is that minimum premium, 33%, that was as low as we could get that base premium for a 40-year-old individual in this case, without the need to attach a term insurance rider. For example, if we set it at 32%, we'd run into a MEC situation. So that 33%, in this case a $33,000 minimum premium, was as low as we could drive it and still have a non-MEC policy, meaning we can access the cash value tax-free, a key benefit to a cash value life insurance policy. We're going to look at a traditional whole life insurance policy. What I mean when I say traditional life insurance policy is that it is a product that is equipped for strong long-term cash accumulation. L99 represents the age you can make payments until, so you can literally pay into it up until age 99. Not many people do that, but that's how long you could pay into the policy if you'd like. And we're going to look at funding the policy forever. As often we hear, you want to be able to pay as much premium as long as possible. Well, let's do that and see what option produces the greatest net results for you as the consumer. So what we're going to look at on the funding is as follows. We're going to look at heavily funding the policy at $100K per year for 10 years. And then after 10 years, we're going to look at $33,000 per year from year 11 onward. Now, I'll add as a quick side note when we begin to look at the models is that we can easily stop much earlier. This is just going to display funding indefinitely. So option A is the 10/90 split with the one-year term rider. What we're going to look at here, we've got a $10K base premium, $23,000 PUA payment, and this is beginning year 11. The first 10 years, obviously we've got more money going into the policy, total of 100 grand. Everything above these dollar figures all goes into PUAs. And then option B, which is the 33/67 without a term insurance rider, we've got a $33,000 base premium. So we're paying just the base premium from that point forward. So let's continue on here. What we will also examine is as follows. We're going to see the direct impact that these different designs have on the cash value, both on a non-guaranteed basis and also a guaranteed basis, so we can see everything side by side. Agent compensation, this way you can see exactly what we as the agent would make with this particular in this particular case with this company as well. And then also the one-year term cost based on the non-guaranteed and guaranteed values. Let's have some fun, shall we? So here we go. We've got a side by side, but why don't we start with a full illustration here. So first we'll look at the 33-67 split. Here we've got the custom guarantees, but no term rider attached in this example. So how we can see actually that we went as low as we possibly could. So here's the same illustration. Death benefit on the far right is what? Just over $2 million, $2,050,000 for a 40-year-old male. I realize that screen's a little blurry there. I can zoom in a little bit if needed, but here's what I want to hit on. Down here, where it reads 7 pay premium, is your MEC limit. So that $33,000 base premium, where we mentioned it's kind of an oddball number, again, we came up with that where we're trying to get the minimum death benefit possible in order to minimize expenses and fund right up to the MEC limit. Everything else goes into PUAs. So there's a snapshot or a screenshot with the MEC limit there. Let's go back to the illustration. We've got the guaranteed and non-guaranteed values here. Guaranteed is on the left. No term insurance attached. Guaranteed. And then the current represents the company's current dividend interest rate. Intermediate represents a middle-of-the-road dividend interest rate. There's your $100K per year for 10 years, and there's the $33K base premium. If we want to look at a more detailed snapshot here, we could go to the ledger statement. There's your breakdown, base premium, PUA payment, paid up additions rider. No term rider, we would see it up here. We don't see any riders here. The indexed rider is on, but it's not exercised. And here we go. So what you'll see here is as follows. There's your columns up top. Far right, net cash value and net death benefit. Look after year 10. In fact, I want to capture it like this. There we go. So years 1 through 10, what do you notice here? Payments of $100K per year. After year 10, $33K per year going in. There's your base premium on the left. So all we're doing in this example is paying the base premium. If we wanted to continue to make PUA payments indefinitely with this particular design, we would run into a MEC situation. With this policy, the policyholder will be forced to reduce his PUA payment. So that is our 3367. Let's look at the 1090 design. So let me go back, cover page here. First, we'll look at the supplemental values, the guaranteed values, I should say, and break down. Where's your money going? Here's your premium, $10,000. We can actually drive it a little bit lower in this example. Below that, you see your paid up additions rider. There's your PUA, $90,000, which I'll add here. Not all of that is directed toward PUAs. You've got $1,475 and change that's directed toward your 1-year term rider. Here's the actual term rider, dollar amount here. I'll add, we really overinflated this thing to amplify the cost. We're going to put it way higher than it has to be in this example, but just wanted to set a worst case scenario and see which one produces greater results for you as the consumer. So here's the funding, $100K per year, 10 years, this is guaranteed, and then current is the non-guaranteed values. Let's go down to the ledger statement, as this will give us a clean breakdown. Here we go. So here's what I want to highlight here. $100K per year, funded for 10 years. After that, what do you see? $33K per year going in. This is your actual payment each year. However, here's your base policy premium. 10K base, 10 years while you're funding the $100K per year, you're paying the 10K base, covering the term cost, everything else going into PUAs. Then, over here, notice this as well, the term insurance rider, gradually decreasing over time, and then we dropped it to keep everything as a fair apples to apples comparison. We can keep it on, by the way, and continue to fund $100K per year longer if we wanted, but in this example, we cut it all together after 10 years. But once it's cut, you'll notice a drop in the death benefit. Why the death benefit is level initially is because what's happening is as you're pumping money into PUAs, we do it for cash value often, that's the goal for many people, but that does purchase you additional whole life death benefit. Let me show you that real quick. This is valuable here, just to be aware of. So day 0, under death benefit, here's your whole life death benefit. Then here's your term rider, this target additional benefit. What happens as you pump money into the PUA component, paid up additions, it shows up in this column right here. Cash value of all adds represents money you add into PUAs and any dividends that are added into the policy as well. How I like to think of it is cash value of all adds, money I add to cash value, since PUAs really help me add or accelerate my cash value growth. Column immediately to the right of it, total face amount of adds, represents how much additional whole life death benefit is purchased from your PUA payments. So what this means here, I made a PUA payment. There's the net dollar amount, $81,704, that showed up in cash value right off the bat. And that purchased this 40-year-old individual $251 and change in added whole life insurance. That's added to this figure. And then the term insurance here decreases by the amount the whole life increased by. As the whole life goes up, the term comes down, keeping the net death benefit the same until it A, naturally expires, or B, we remove it, like we did in year 10. And then from year 10 onward, what you'll notice once the term is gone, we've got a $10,000 base premium each year, but we're still paying $33,000 per year. This way, you as the policyholder can see, okay, the out-of-pocket is identical for me. I just want to see which option gives me more cash value from start to finish. Because the more money I have in the policy, the more money I've got to take advantage of other opportunities that arise. It's more capital for me. How do I optimize that? And frankly, lower my commitment. In the event that life happens, I'm only obligated to that $10,000 base premium. So we can scroll back and forth, right? But we've got all the data on the Excel comparison sheet. Oh, I almost forgot actually. We're going to come back to this, which actually gives us the cost breakdown for what the term rider actually costs each year. These numbers, we've got the current costs and also the guaranteed costs. The guaranteed costs represent the maximum dollar amount that an insurance company can charge for that term insurance rider. It's extremely rare that they raise it to this. However, what this represents, if we're going to run the dollar amount at this exact charge here, the guarantees, it assumes that the company is going to assess the highest dollar amount for the term insurance rider forever. Rare, but we're going to look at worst case scenario. So we'll have some fun with this. And I'll show you how we get the dollar amount based on this formula as well. This represents the cost for every $1,000 of term insurance, 40 cents here. So for a 40-year-old male, if he wanted $1,000 in a one-year term rider, it cost him 40 cents. So we've got several million here, so it'll add up. All right, let's take a look here. Here we go. So what we've got on the left is the 3367. Base premium, $33,000. Annual outlay, $100,000. That death benefit will match exactly what we just saw on the illustration from the 3367 example. First year cash value, $61,000 and change. As we look at the first year, I paid in $100,000, $61,000, so it's just about a $40,000 loss, a little bit less. The next year, you pay in $100,000, it grows from 61 to 130, meaning you did not get your $100,000 back. Not even close, actually. If you got the full 100 back, it would be 161. So with the L99, a traditional whole life insurance policy, the company is overcharging the policyholder for the cost of insurance, the base premium, during the first and second year, the first 2 years. So first and second year doesn't show up. We do receive a dividend that year, $4,800 and change. Year 3, we pay in another $100,000. Net cash value grows from 130 to 220. If I was earning 0, what would it grow to? 230, but it grew to 220. So I got 90 back, a negative or a $10,000 loss in this example. How about the next year? Okay, by year 4, I finally begin to see more money come back than what I pay in, by about $100 in this example. And it gets better and better each year. What year 9, where we see it highlighted in yellow, represents is at that point in time, you've paid in $900,000 at the total annual outlay, 100K per year for 9 years, and you have 905 to be precise. And then you continue to pump money into it. Come on, there we go. And we're going to compare these two side by side. Before we do that, let's do the same thing we did for the 3367 for the 1090 design. So what we've got here is as follows. 1090 split. Where's the money going? $10,000 base premium. We didn't include the term rider in this part. In this particular sheet here, I am going to hit on it very, very shortly. $100,000 going in. First year in cash value, just about 82%. Next year, dividend, $4,200. Look at this. Over here, it's $4,800 with the higher base premium. Yet, you've got almost another $40,000 in cash value in year 2 when we compare them side by side. The reason why the dividends are different, and I've got a higher dividend in the example with less cash value, is because the dividend, 1, does not include the guaranteed piece, but dividend payouts with most insurance carriers are more favorable on base premium dollars compared to PUA dollars, specifically on an illustration. I would check out one of our more recent videos that went through historical performance and how dividends actually are applied to policies to get more information on that. But on an illustration, we'll often see this, where I've got a higher dividend on base premium dollars. Even if this did carry through and is 100% true, I would look at this and say, okay, like that's all well and good, but I don't really care. And here's the reason why. I've got more money. The cash value column, and this is pulled directly from the illustration we had up before, is your actual dollar amount. Like that's what you have access to. If you're a company that's an asset on your balance sheet, how's it going to impact the P&L? Break-even point between years 6 and 7 instead of year 9. Now, what do you notice at year 11 in this example? Death benefit, we drop the term rider here. What happens when we drop the term? Death benefit drops. If we were funding just the base premium from year 11 onward, that term rider, we would set it at a much lesser amount from the get-go. Here, we overinflated it because we're trying to pay into the policy. We are paying into the policy up until 99, and we wanted to make sure a MEC never occurred, even with the decreasing MEC limit over time in this example. If you start out with a level death benefit, that MEC limit's going to begin to decrease after the 7th year. So, beginning year 11, you've got a 10K base premium, that's consistent, but $33,000 total. What that means is the additional $23,000, 10 plus 23 equals 33, is going into PUAs. So, same out of pocket in both instances here. What do we see as a difference? Well, more money's going toward the paid up additions rider. So before we look at the comparison actually, let's take a look at this. So what's the actual cost of the term insurance rider? Because this sometimes comes up in question, and what the insurance company, some companies provide the exact dollar amount, some companies provide this. Which if I sent this to you and you're considering a policy, what would you think when you looked at this? Like, what does this mean? What's my actual dollar amount for the term cost? Because you can see your actual dollar amount for the term cost in the first year, $1,475. So going back to our chart here, let's take a look. So these are the exact term insurance rider amounts we just had on the illustration. You can go back one more time. Starts at a 3688, ends at 1424 before we cut it. There we go. Literally just pulled the data and dropped it right on Excel. So what we're going to do here is have some fun. Get the formula there. You'll see those digits add up. If you want to rewind a little bit, just multiply it. Look at that. Does that add up in the first year? Let me go back. Yes. Is it to the penny at 41 cents? It is. And there we go. So there's your term cost. What you'll notice here, after the first and second year, it begins to increase the actual cost. And this is based on the non-guaranteed values. We're going to look at the guarantees as well. But there you go. There's your actual dollar cost each year. That's what I'm paying in turn. So of the $100,000 payment, I've got $10K toward the base. Whatever this dollar amount is satisfies the term cost. Everything else goes into PUAs. All right, so let's compare this long term now. How far shall we go? Age 85, what do we see here? This is exactly what we wanted to show. Age 85. Similar to the last video, where we've got slightly more with that higher base premium design based on the non-guaranteed values. So if I go with less upfront, I can potentially have more long-term. Remember that from the last video? Now, if I look at year 40, that's not the case. So I have to wait an excessively long time to potentially have more money long-term based on the company's current dividend interest rate. And we know from history that the illustrations, I don't want to use the term lie, but when I look at a high base premium, here's that historical policy where the dividend started out, it actually increased for a number of years. The actual dividend rate, we don't have it on this sheet, but we have what was projected in dividends, and then what we have what was actually paid. This is a policy with all base premium. It's meant to demonstrate the sensitivity of how dividends are actually applied to base premium dollars. Very simple stuff to follow. I'm kidding. All right, so 50 years or 45 years down the road, you've got a couple bucks more, a couple $1,000s more with that high base premium policy. For the first 40 years, you had more money with the 1090 based on the non-guaranteed values. And we know what history tells with these policies and performance. If you stopped paying earlier than that, by the way, this assumes you're going to continue to make payments forever. If you stopped paying earlier than that, it's a different story. Where you'll see that much, much higher. Most people we speak with don't want to fund it forever. Let's look at the guarantees. This is going to tell a much different story. So here we go. Remember that statement we made about dividends, how on an illustration they're more favorable to base premium dollars than PUA dollars? When you strip the dividends and look at just guarantees, it's a different story because you're leveling the playing field as far as how that guaranteed rate is applied to base premium dollars and paid up additions. 3367. Year 10, you've paid in $1 million, you've got $900,000. You have not broken even. Over here, year 10, paid in $100,000, you've got $951. So you've got about another $50,000, and this is with the term rider attached. Before we go further, let me make sure we highlight the term costs as well. Here we go. The guarantees are identical the first and second year as the non-guarantees. We can go back just to see that again. There we go. Guarantees go up a bit, then they begin to come down. But in my opinion, it really doesn't matter because I end up with more money, more cash value in the policy. You can scroll down. Let's look at the same point in time, age 85. Let's look at age 90. You can look at any point in time. What's the difference now? The non-guarantees, they were that close. How about the guarantees? What are you actually guaranteed at the end of the day? That's how I like to look at it. Year 50, pushing 90 years old. There's 85. Most people say, who cares? We're looking way too far. But let's hit it. You've got hundreds of thousands of dollars in the difference. Cash value and death benefit. And you'll always see that. Whenever we look at guarantees, most non-guaranteed illustrations, for funding for a long, long period of time, we can sometimes comes slightly ahead with a higher base premium, but most non-guaranteed illustrations, guaranteed illustrations, and actual performance, we see those minimum base premiums produce more money long-term. Needless to say, I've got a lot more money up front, which is what a lot of corporations, wealthy individuals value because it's an opportunity cost there. Let's close this puppy up with compensation. So which one thus far would you lean toward? For me, it would be this one. One, I have more money from start to finish. Early years, I can take advantage of opportunities. But then in the event life happens, I'm committed to a low base premium. The policy never feels like a burden. With this particular company, I can commit just to the base premium and add additional funds into PUAs anytime I want. If I bit off more than I can chew early on, I can always partially reduce the term rider, no problem. But compensation, after I select which one I want, and then which one have I been shown, let's take a look here. So, on the left, base premium, $33,000. 33.67 split. 100K total, there's your cash value. Here's the annual compensation. This is based on the base premium and PUA rider. Total compensation tallies up your total comp over time. So there you go with a 33.67. Then how about that 1090? Annual compensation, much less upfront, about 1/3. And as time passes, over a 10-year period, it's over $20,000 less to the agent. And this company, if you're continuing to produce with them, continues to pay a 2% renewal. So it could be higher than this, but this gives you an overview of what the policies actually look like side by side. A lot of information here. I hope it was helpful just in providing some transparency, seeing some actual numbers so we can see what things actually look like as we refine our decision-making process. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like button, subscribe for more. Please ask any questions or leave comments below. And as always, I hope this helps. Thanks so much.
Hey guys, Steve Parisi here. If you enjoyed the content you just saw, please subscribe, like, and hit the notification bell for future videos. If you'd like more information or to see some custom policies for yourself, feel free to call or email our offices at the contact information below.